There are long trucks, and then there's this, a machine so massive it defied every law of engineering. Over a kilometer long, stretching farther than the eye could see, powered by a single roaring diesel giant. It wasn't a convoy, it wasn't a movie stunt, it was one truck, the longest ever built, born in the heart of the Australian Outback, where roads melt, dust bites, and only raw power survives. To understand this monster, you need to understand the land that created it. The Outback doesn't forgive weakness. Temperatures hit 120 degrees Fahrenheit, towns are hundreds of miles apart, and the nearest mechanic might be a day away, yet people still had to move fuel, ore, cattle, and machinery across it. The answer wasn't more trucks, it was bigger trucks. Connect trailers one after another until a single driver could haul the weight of a train. The earliest road trains appeared after World War II, when Australians repurposed leftover military tractors like the Diamond T and Mack NR. They added extra axles, reinforced frames, and built their own trailers from scrap steel. It was crude, loud, and brilliant. Those rigs crawled across dirt tracks that barely counted as roads, dragging food and supplies to mining camps and cattle stations deep in the desert. The drivers who ran them were half trucker, half explorer, and entirely fearless. By the 1960s, the road train had evolved into a monster of precision. The Mack R series was one of the first purpose-built Outback haulers. Its diesel engine growled low and steady, and its cooling system could survive the kind of heat that killed ordinary trucks within hours. Drivers said the R series was the dog that never dies. When it rolled through the desert, people stopped and watched. Then came the 1980s, the golden age of big rigs, and with it, legends like the Kenworth C509, Kenworth T900, and Mack Titan. These machines turned hauling into domination. The C509's 15-liter Cummins engine and 18-speed gearbox gave it more pulling power than most locomotives. Fully loaded, it could move 200 tons through dust thick enough to swallow the horizon. Watching one pass was like watching a steel river in motion, but even giants have limits, and the Outback's open spaces dared engineers to go further. The world record attempts began. In 1989, driver Malcolm Douglas linked 45 trailers behind a Mack, stretching nearly 600 meters. It was chaos and brilliance. Every hitch, every chain had to be perfect. The rig crept forward inch by inch until all the trailers started rolling. For the first time, a man had tamed half a kilometer of steel. Then, in 2006, near Clifton, Queensland, came the day that changed trucking history. Driver John Atkinson took a Mack Titan and hitched together 112 trailers. A line of steel measuring 1,174 meters, more than a full kilometer and almost a mile long. The total weight was around 1,300 tons. It took hours to connect each section, every coupling checked by hand. When the Titan's engine finally roared to life, the ground shook like an earthquake. At first, only the first few trailers moved. Then slowly, one after another, the whole chain began to crawl forward. It looked like a metal serpent waking from sleep. The crowd that gathered to watch said they could feel the sound, a deep rumble rolling through their chests. The longest truck ever built was alive. That Mack Titan wasn't a normal truck. Its MP10 engine made nearly 700 horsepower and more than 2,000 pound-feet of torque. Every component was overbuilt. Frame, gearbox, brakes, suspension. The Titan hauled over a kilometer of trailers for nearly a mile without failure. No other single unit truck in history has moved so much weight. It was officially confirmed as the longest road train ever assembled. Since then, road trains have remained the heartbeat of Australia's interior. In the Pilbara mining region, Kenworth C509s, T909s, and Mack Titans still run daily, hauling iron ore, fuel, and heavy machinery over distances that seem impossible. Each one can tow 3 or 4 trailers weighing over 200 tons combined. When they roll down the highway, dust clouds rise like smoke trails from rockets. Standing beside a road train is humbling. The tires tower over your head, the trailers stretch until they vanish into the horizon, and the cab hums with restrained violence. You can smell the oil, the exhaust, the desert air mixing with burnt rubber, and you understand why Australia calls these giants kings of the road, because no country on earth pushes its trucks this hard. No other land demands this kind of mechanical courage, and nowhere else could a machine over a kilometer long even exist. The legend of that 1.4 kilometer Mack Titan still echoes across the Outback, a reminder that For one day, a single truck carried more steel, more power, and more pride than anything before or since. When a road train stretches beyond a kilometer, it stops being a truck and becomes a moving continent. The Mack Titan that set the world record didn't just haul steel, it hauled belief. That 1.4 kilometer monster proved that with enough power, precision, and nerve, one machine could command the impossible. But the story of ultra-long road trains didn't end there. It evolved, pushing deeper into the Outback, where the limits of man and machine blur into one. Every modern road train that thunders across Australia owes its existence to that moment in Clifton, Queensland. The challenge inspired a new generation of heavy haulers, trucks designed not just for records, but for endurance. Today, rigs like the Kenworth C509, Kenworth T909, in Western Australia's Pilbara mining region, road trains operate in convoys that stretch across the desert like mechanical snakes. Each trailer is packed with iron ore, bound for the ports at Port Hedland or Dampier. These loads can reach more than 170 tons, with every ton worth thousands of dollars. The stakes are high, one breakdown can stall an entire supply line. But the Kenworths and Macks take the punishment without flinching. Their radiators are oversized for desert heat, their air intakes protected from choking dust, and their brakes reinforced to handle descents that would destroy regular rigs. The Mack Titan, already a legend from its record-breaking run, continues to dominate the long-haul world. Its MP10 engine delivers 685 horsepower and more than 2,300 pound-feet of torque. But what makes it special isn't just power, it's endurance. These trucks can run 20 hours a day, every day, for years, through temperatures that would cook most machines. Drivers say the Titan has a sound you never forget, a deep, confident growl that seems to come from the earth itself. Behind the wheel, driving a road train isn't about speed, it's about control. Each trailer sways like the tail of a giant creature, and the driver feels every shift of weight through the seat. Corners must be taken slowly, hills must be planned long before you reach them. The trailers move with a delay, a ripple effect that takes seconds to travel from the cab to the end. Watching one of these giants turn is like watching physics itself unfold in slow motion. The Outback doesn't forgive mistakes. Blow a tire on a 200-ton road train and you're stranded in a furnace. Hit a kangaroo at highway speed and the impact feels like a bomb. That's why every truck is fitted with a massive bull bar, thick enough to stop livestock or debris without slowing down. Drivers check their equipment constantly. Airlines, coupling chains, trailer pins. The smallest failure could start a chain reaction stretching hundreds of meters behind them. Over time, road trains have spread beyond Australia. In Canada's Arctic, Western Star 6900XD rigs pull fuel and supplies across frozen ice roads. In the Middle East, heavy haulers built on the same principles move oil rigs and military equipment through desert terrain, but none of them match the size and scale of the Australian giants. Only in the Outback do drivers attempt hauls that approach half a kilometer in length on a regular basis, and only there could a 1.4 kilometer record even make sense. The idea that one person can sit behind a wheel and command a kilometer of moving steel through a landscape that tries to kill everything that enters it. It's proof that endurance still matters in an age obsessed with speed. The longest truck ever built may have been a world record, but it also became a symbol of human determination, of Australian ingenuity, of machines that refuse to surrender. That 1.4 kilometer Mack Titan might never roll again, but its legacy is alive every time a driver fires up a C509, drops it into first gear, and sets off into the endless red horizon. Because somewhere out there, under the burning sun and the cloud of dust, another road train is moving. Each trailer following the one before it, an iron serpent slithering across the earth. Its driver doesn't chase fame. He chases distance, and every mile he drives carries the same spirit as that record-breaking Titan. Out here, the road never ends, the diesel never sleeps, and the longest truck ever built still casts its shadow over every machine that dares to follow.